Hi there, and welcome to the Rangers News YouTube channel. It's Jordan Carlisle here alongside Cammy Wills.
How you doing?
And James Black.
Oh.
And after a series of questionable at best calls from various referees and linesmen and the like across the country, Rangers have come out and called for the SFA to look at bringing in VAR at the nearest convenience. Is that something that we support?
I think, see, it's so hard, man. You see, like, the utter shit show, and don't excuse my French accent for saying that it's happening down in England. Yeah. It is an utter riot, and you're looking at it, and then there's also question. I mean, the kind of backhand of like everybody's slagging referees and where they come from, etc. And then they're looking at who's in charge of the monitors. You know, it's like, I mean, I understand why Rangers want it. I just think you look at the applicability of it. It's a really difficult thing. Well, a lot of people are saying that it's run in other countries and it's run well, and England are just making a real hash of it. But I mean, there's absolutely no doubt that Rangers have been kind of stung with this season with poor refereeing decisions. The John Beaton one with Morelos up in Aberdeen kind of cost us 2 points. You couldn't see Aberdeen coming back into that had we scored that penalty. The cup final, obviously, offside goal, and potentially, but definitely another penalty we should have had. And then the game yesterday, I mean, we won despite the kind of incompetence of the referee, but I mean, that was a handball goal, and I mean, it's a hard one. You want the decisions to go right, but I mean, I'm 50-50. I'm not utterly convinced that it's the way to go.
James?
I'm all for it. All for it. People keep going about the Premier League making an arse of it, but that's the Premier League making an arse of it and being so pedantic over the application of it. I mean, I think there was one yesterday or over the weekend, and oh God, what game is it? I want to say Wolves. Liverpool, and it literally came down to something like 3 pixels, and that's bollocks. That's unnecessary. It's pointless, and they're making a rod for their own back. But yeah. If we moan about referees not getting decisions right, why not give them the tools to get it right? It's not. I mean, the big argument in Scotland seems to be the cost of it. It's going to cost £1 million and then £250,000 a year on top of that. Good, absolutely brilliant. Because see, if you take that across 42 clubs, see the difference between winning a cup, losing a cup, winning a title, losing a title. It's going to be worth far more than what the cost of VAR is going to be. The big concern for me it has the same incompetent boobs that are referees in charge yet, because I know Rangers in their statement say they don't want to criticise referees, but I do, because Kevin Clancy yesterday was one of the worst officiating performances I've ever seen for a referee. Utterly inept, and they should be banned for that.
It was woeful. It was absolutely ridiculous. His decision making. It was difficult to justify the decisions that he'd made.
It's impossible to justify something. And I don't want to say the guy's corrupt or the guy's bent or whatever else, but Jesus Christ, that was horrific, utterly horrific.
Well, it is all well and good. Like when you're saying that, you know, I'm smiling now because I know we're on the right end of it, but. Like, we weren't during the game, and if that cost us again, so we're talking about, he was quite trigger happy with the penalty against Kadic, and there's no doubt that he pulled him back, but then it's the lack of consistency later on when Aribo's getting pulled. There's the one when Morelos has basically turned and has got away from Julian, who then comes down the back of his calf, takes him down, and he's clean through on goal. Clear red card and a free kick on the edge of the box. And it's just like, it's stuff like that that's just, and the Christie, you know,
sexual assault.
Yeah, grabbing on to Morelos, and the fact that these
pulling back Tavernier.
Yeah, these are going unpunished. So it's a question of, I think I'm probably somewhere in between as well. I'd say I'm 60-40, 65-35. I think that they need to obviously do it better than England, and I think one of the main issues there is that it's someone miles away making the decision, and they've no monitors for the referees to go to and just see it clearly for themselves. And I think they need to do better with the old clear and obvious, which is the whole point of it. But most of those things that happened yesterday were clear and obvious. The League Cup final goal is chalked off in 3 seconds. Like, anyone can see that with just a freeze frame of what's happening. So we're talking about this sort of stuff, and it's not like there's controversy in Scottish football. And there's stuff, you know, what way does such and such lean, what way does such and such lean, but these are black and white decisions that could be better. So I think if it cost-wise, that's what I just can't imagine how it's going to be. It's maybe a strain across the league when you've got a lot smaller clubs in Rangers and Celtic and that sort of stuff. It seemed a big leap for me to have some of these games with VAR in them and the amount of officials that you need to run it, because you need extra officials, you need extra training and all that. But if it's viable,
I mean, yeah, you've got Motherwell against Hamilton or something like that with like VAR and stuff. I suppose that's a derby though, so there's room for it there.
But then these games all have multiple cameras recording these games already. So I mean, you're not. It's not a huge leap into that. I mean, we're not talking Arbroath versus East Fife here, where it's playing a ramshackle little shed in the middle of nowhere, and there's 35 folk there. These are the elite clubs in Scotland, and if we're going to piss and whine that, oh well, we've not got the money for this, then something's seriously wrong.
I mean, it's TV deal. This is what it starts from. I mean, the clubs aren't getting enough money. Full stop. I mean, if they can't afford it and it's going to affect them running it, just for everybody to cause like a big massive hoorah about it. I mean, I'm not convinced either way. I just don't think that it's the only solution. I think that maybe what you're leaning on saying, maybe you can introduce it to cup finals, maybe introduce it to bigger games first. I just think you have to respect the fact that other clubs can't afford to pay for it, and who's going to pay for it, and what system is going to be. I just think there needs to be one that's specifically tailored to the needs of Scotland, and if you can produce that system, then go for it. But if you're costing something that, I mean, just to me, you're talking about it's going to cost every club £1 million.
No, it's $1 million across the board.
Across the board. I mean, that sounds relatively reasonable.
Take that across 42 clubs in Scotland.
I mean, Rangers and Celtic should perhaps, if they're desperate for it, perhaps foot more on the bill. Like, I mean, if you're talking about 42 clubs in Scotland, £1 million, I mean, £10,000 a lot of money to some clubs in Scotland. So, I mean, I think that we've got to have a little bit of responsibility ourselves to the rest
what
of
the
teams.
Scottish FA have put forward would be that it would come out of either the money that clubs receive directly for the SFA, so like when they get their UEFA grants, and like, so a lot is actually money that's generated by Rangers and Celtic. So the clubs all get payments for us competing in Europe. They'll get payments for like international stuff and all that kind of nonsense. Take it for that. See, the TV deal that exists purely because of Rangers and Celtic, and don't kid yourself, the TV deal in this country exists purely because of Rangers and Celtic.
I still think it's too little, to be honest. It's something like £33 million or something like that.
Yeah, so that's far too little.
Yeah, still too little.
Far too little. But take it for that. And if clubs still aren't, because these wee clubs still piss and whine as well, they're more than happy to go, oh, that referee didn't give us this against Rangers, he didn't give us that against Celtic, he didn't give us this against Motherwell or whoever else. Get on the tools.
I think discuss it, move forward, find a solution. I think it's the right move, but I think that we need to kind of treat it with respect and not be so hasty and treat other clubs in that with respect. I think Rangers are doing the right thing, saying we won't change in this regard and we want some level of this referee, but I don't think it's a case of just going like this, right, we're implementing this system and expecting it to run smoothly. I think that we should care for how it's going to come and how it's going to impact the other clubs in our game.
Okay, but basically the long and short of it is that we need to get more decisions right. Somewhere or the other going forward.
If we could at least get half decisions right, it would be a good start.
That'd be a help.